from where I'm at, the way the lights hit and everything, because you try to read a racetrack. All of us do, whether you're running a drone or, you're reading it from the pit area. We're all looking at the racetrack. We watch it change. It's part of the game. The lighting down in turns 1 and 2, the track looked super, super tacky. Same with 3 and 4. The front stretch looked like it was asphalt.
Yep.
I got down on the front stretch for interviews, and as I'm walking down there, I've got my foot trying to slide it across the top of the track. Not going to happen.
Nope.
Not going to happen. There was so much traction in that racetrack. that surface is weird. That Southern Oregon Speedway, that surface is I can see how if you miss the setup a little, you've missed it a lot. But if you're on, you're going to be nearly unbeatable.
Well, with it being as grippy as it was, what I noticed from the race before, we was talking about hanging out, at the last race we had, coming around and hanging all the way through the straightaway and into the turn. They wasn't hanging out in the straightaway.
They weren't.
They was hooking up and being like a
forward
rocket.
bite all the way through those.
All the way around. There was so much traction in that track. But again, it wasn't wet tacky.
No, it was traction tracky.
But it wasn't dry and rubber down either. It was very, very different. It's a very unique surface there. It creates some awesome racing. We're off this weekend, which is kind of a bummer because I want to get into that. Now from here on out, it's go time. But I wanted to, you want to get into that rhythm and get your program down, and I'm excited to see what this racetrack does from here on out because I think we're kind of getting right at the tail end of any kind of rain or moisture. I think we're going to start seeing where it becomes a real driver's track. So Don says he's trying to finish up the points. He's going to be shooting the link directly to this message when it's up. ETA 10 to 15 minutes for points on the Southern Oregon page. We'll get you guys going on that. Awesome. Thank you, Don. We appreciate it. From Sport Mods, our feature of the night was the modifieds. We're going to talk about them last. Okay. So before the modified feature, we had the super late models. Okay.
That was a lesson. The teacher was on the track.
Well, here's the thing, though. I was going to say, and I talked about this over the PA. 14 super late models rolled out, and again, a tight field. Everybody was hooked up. Everybody was fast, but you had to be a driver. Okay. Yep. Now, when you get a front row, I don't care what track you're at, anywhere in the western United States, when you get a front row with the 2 of Bobby Hogue and the 46 of Darren Koffel, and even if you're sitting in the second row, you've got to be thinking, oh man, what just happened? How did I end up behind these guys? I mean, that is a fast front row. Darren Koffel, a multiple-time champion here in the Northwest, highly respected driver anywhere he unloads. And the same with Bobby Hogue. Bobby Hogue is the winningest driver of the Budweiser Nationals. He is one of those guys that God gifted with talent, and it doesn't matter what track he goes to. When he unloads, Bobby Hogue is going to be fast. The green flag dropped, and my eyes are on that front row. I think everybody's was, because we saw both those guys win their heats and win them well. Green flag comes out. They go into turn 1, and I thought, oh, man, that low line's going to have the advantage. I was thinking Hogue's going to drive away from Koffel, and Darren's going to have to earn this. Well, he didn't drive away from him.
No, it didn't happen.
Darren was right there with him, and then they were side by side, and Darren tried to hold him down to take that line away and keep the momentum up on the higher groove, and instantly, I'm in this one. I'm excited. Adrenaline spiked because I know what we're going to watch. And we saw a phenomenal race between those two. We saw a couple other guys get in on the mix. But Bobby Hogue and Darren Koffel kept the top 2 spots from flag to flag. Early stages, first 5-6 laps, this looked like, this is Bobby Hogue's deal. This is Bobby Hogue's deal. Darren's sitting back there. The way Darren's car was acting on entry, I just thought, God, Bobby's just a little bit better. He's gonna win this deal, to win this race. And then Darren Koffel found something on the bottom. Bobby tried to step it up a little bit, hunting the racetrack, trying to figure out where that. Probably don't want to do that when Darren Koffel's right on your tailpipe. If you got a 5, 6, 8 car advantage, you might want to think about that. But when Darren's right there with you and you give Darren a hole, that XR1 Rocket's got some forward bite. He's going to find a way to get in. And he did. He got under Bobby, and he drove by him, and I thought, whoa, wait a second. Now we've got some action here because both guys have led. One came from Bend. One's coming out of Salinas, California, and they're meeting here to shoot it out. And I know both these guys, and I know their competitive nature and their coolness behind the wheel.
It was like noon in Dodge City, the shootout.
Right, and you can't rattle these guys. You can't. Those guys are just, they're so much of a veteran driver in their heads. They're the definition of cool, calm, and collective. And, man, what a race they put on. When Bobby got behind Darren, and we watched this. We watched it. He got behind him, and Darren was clearly fast enough to stay in front of him.
Yep.
Clearly fast enough. While Bobby sat back there and hunted the track, he tried a high entry, he tried a midline entry, he tried it low, he tried, drifting it from the bottom to the top on the exit. He was changing stuff up to catch Darren because knew he did every lap.
Every lap.
He knew he had to find a way to get around Darren on the high side because Darren's car was so good on the bottom. Darren was wicked fast on the bottom.
Was.
And when you notice on the exit, he'd come out of the turns. He didn't go up half a track. He stayed under that half lane, half track groove. He stayed under that and carried that momentum right to that line and entered hard and got that car to rotate early. He was fast. And I'm thinking Bobby's going to have a hard time getting by this. If he can pass Darren, this is going to be impressive. Yellow flag comes out. Yellow flag comes out late in the race. I think there was 3 or 4 laps ago. Now, I'm watching this going, this just changed everything. This just changed this entire race. Had that gone flag to flag, I think we'd be talking about Darren Koffel as the winner.
Definitely.
I'm positive we'd be talking about Darren Koffel as the winner. But, like I said, Bobby Hogue sat back there behind Darren under all that action, going through traffic even, hunting that racetrack, feeling his car.
That's what Bobby Hogue does.
He does.
I've seen him do it year after year after year.
And he registers that well. He knew he had one shot. And then we were going to go back to green. They got down to the apex. Darren sets the pace. Green flag comes out. Everybody hammered the gas. Bobby got to the high side and was able to get outside of Darren. He got by him into turn 1, and from then on, it was the 2 car.
It got by him on the outside.
And he knew that was the only shot he had was on that restart to get by him on the high side, and he was able to get the jump on Darren. As good as Darren was, that surprised me. I think it surprised all of us.
Yeah.
Because we watch Bobby. And Bobby's one of those guys that's not going to show you his hand until he has to. Bobby couldn't have played that any better. Bobby Hogue could not have done that, and I love Darren Koffel. Darren is one of the guys, I wish every guy in racing was like Darren Koffel. Darren is such a good thing for this sport. He's an advocate for this sport. He understands what makes racing successful. I wish everybody was like that. Bobby Hogue's like that too. And those guys just, I don't know if you could watch a better race between 2 veteran drivers in late model type cars. Bobby knew he had one shot to get him. He got that jump on the high side, and I think it might have surprised Darren a little bit. And when he got by him, I think at that point we knew this is Bobby's race, because Bobby found something on not the bottom, just above that bottom line where he'd been kind of following Darren, and he put 3/4 of a straightaway on the 46 of Koffel in about 4 laps. He found something, and Darren kept that car committed to the bottom where he had been. I don't know if he can go any faster around that track.
And we had in-car cameras.
We did have in-car cameras.
And the drone.
And the tower.
And the tower cam.
We had a camera mounted down in turn 1 and 2.
So we have a video that's going to have some really good highlights.
Yes. We had 2 cameras mounted on Bobby Hogue's car.
Yes, we did. Front and rear.
Look at Gary's over there. He's like, yeah, we got him on there.
And am I right in saying this is the first race we had all the cameras out as far as fence cams, car cams,
we had
drone,
2 fence cams,
the whole bit,
2 fence cams and 5 in cars.
5 in car. We only ran 5 of the 6 in cars. The new roll bar mount showed up, so we'll have
Yeah.
6
Nice.
in
We'll
cards.
have
Yeah.
6. Yay. That came in yesterday.
Yes, yesterday. I wasn't saying on that. I'm talking about what we did today. Talk about that in a little bit, guys.
What did we do? I
This
didn't-
happened last time.
Did I do something?
No.
We don't get let in until
Again?
it's time to know. We're on a need-to-know
Again?
basis.
This
don't get
is
to
honestly,
know
this
yet.
totally slipped my mind. It's just something that happened today, and we'll
Uh-huh.
talk about that here after the show. But we're always looking to make things better for the experience for the fans, and we're doing that. That's all I'll say on that.
There's more equipment coming.
Oh, toys.
Toys.
Everybody knows now.
No,
Toys.
It's not what I did.
these are not. No.
I did something new.
I
too.
know you did too. We got another drone. No, that's not what you did. It's totally different, but it.
Are we adding to my workload now? Am I
It's
flying
good.
drone in the
Yes,
pits?
we
Yeah,
are
you're
adding to
really
your
flying.
workload.
Sorry, Gary.
I think what this is going to do, though, is actually make your workload probably a lot easier.
I think I have an idea, and I'm kind of excited.
I like the exercise, though.
Oh.
Well, good. We'll get 3 or 4 more of these.
I've lost 2
All
pounds.
right.
God, I'm now I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
It's got to be good.
It is very good.
But,
Well, yeah,
Um,
yes.
It's going to change the experience for the fans.
well, you know, I want to tell everybody of Southern Oregon that's watching our videos. We haven't put that many out yet, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But we enjoy doing it, and with all of the in-car cameras, and last year we did some videos that had not only picture-in-a-picture, but we would put up like 4 or 5 cameras, and we'd switch shots from front to rear, because we was only running the drone and the in-car cams. But we'd have drone footage, in-car front, in-car back, drone footage, in-car front, in-car back, in-car back, in-car front. We just switch back and forth. So we have it's like I call it a puzzle piece, and we can watch that video and switch between the 4 cameras. And I'm going to I know how to do it this year. I'm going to put fades in between each one so people don't get nauseated as it goes from one to the other real quick. Because the first one I did last year, Corey says, "God, that makes me dizzy." And I'm going, well,
It's like that warning they put on those video games about epileptic seizures.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Ed is a very experienced computer guy. Very experienced. But when you do something new like this, Ed's first year with Moxie was last season. When you do something new like this, there's a learning process. And like he mentioned earlier in the program, every artist has a style, okay? Whether you're taking pictures or doing video, editing, announcing, whatever it is. Everybody's got their style. Ed likes to use that quick television style angle change.
NASCAR.
Kind of like that. It's boom, boom. There, it's like whoa. It's fast. There's not a fade. There's not, like a lot of people are used to watching when you see a highlight reel in dirt track racing. With that being said, the action is nonstop because when you're looking out the front of someone's car and there's something going on in the back, boom, it changes and it's right there. It takes your eyes a second to
That's
catch
what I
it.
did.
That's what he did. It's a different style of art as we had with our previous video editor, Sam. But it worked out well. And Ed has been playing with some new software.
I would say muddling through some new software. Muddling.
Well,
I'm
I will
digging my way through some new
tell you,
software.
Ed, that I had a couple. First of all, Southern Oregon Speedway has awesome fans.
Yes,
they
do.
come up and they talk to us all the time, and I did get a little bit of feedback this last time, and there was a really nice lady in the stands that wants to know where she can see those videos, and I did explain to her, and this is what brought it up, Ed, is that how much work it is. And I said, you have no idea. There's hours and hours and hours that go into these videos, but go on to Moxie Media and Promotions, like their page. It usually takes a week to get them up because it takes all week
Yep.
to go through all of those videos. But she was so excited, and it was so interesting to talk to her and to hear what the fans have to say, Ed, that you are doing an excellent job with the drone. You do all of the video production. You are the production